got here, BBC Radio Newcastle, 23 minutes to 9 on this Saturday morning. And my guest on the show is the amazing South Shore singer, Joe McElderry. Now, you'll know Joe when he sprung firstly onto our screens on the X Factor with a very famous duet. Remember this? When I'm losing everything, it's like the sun going down on me. I can't actually believe I'm going to introduce this man to the stage. The one and only George Michael. It's like the sun going down on me. I actually can't believe I've just sang with George Michael. Thank you so much.
George, I think you rose to the occasion, I would say.
Didn't he though?
Fantastic.
What do you make of Joe, George?
I think he's got a great future.
I absolutely love that. What an iconic moment, and how beautiful George Michael could say he's got a great future. And who knew, 13 years later, Joe will be doing the Freedom Tour, a tribute to the songs of the amazing George Michael. So when I caught up with Joe, I had to ask the big question: was he going to wear the iconic leather jacket?
We are. So we've got like nods to George's fashion. So when we kind of came up with the show, I was very I said I don't want it to be too costume dress up. Like, I don't want it to look like a fancy dress costume. I want it to be just little nods of stuff that I would wear, but nods towards the fashion that he wore. So we've got the leather jackets,
Yes.
We've got the famous boots. There's a little bit of fringe
You
there.
love the fringe,
Sleeves
Joe.
going on and sparkles.
So obviously you've got this big tour. It ends in London, doesn't it? On the
30th.
Oh, it's the 30th.
Yeah, we finished just before Halloween, and then straight back home, straight back the northeast, straight into panto rehearsals for the Theatre
I
Royal.
love the fact that's not. I was going to say to you, you're going to have a little break. No, of course not. Straight on. So yeah, panto. How excited are you for pantomime?
Do you know what? I think this year is going to be. It's always spectacular, but I've just seen the script and I've heard some of the stuff that we're going to be doing, and it's going to be spectacular. It is over the top, fabulous. The opening sequence of the show is going to be spectacular.
Now the
I'm
thing
really
is, I
excited.
shouldn't really admit that I know this, but I shouldn't have heard, but I heard a little teeny tiny bit at the start because we've been talking about this. It's just going to blow you away. I'm not giving anything away. I shouldn't have really known it, and I've heard a few things. It just sounds like amazing. Talking about outfits, run about your George Michael outfits. Do you know what you're going to be wearing? You don't have to give it away. You don't ruin it, but what's your outfit going to be like?
I've seen some of the sketches. Well, if you think, what would a fairy godfather wear? You know, if you just think fairy godmother, fairy godfather, it's going to be over the top. It's going to be sparkly, maybe some wings.
Oh,
we might have
yes.
some wings in there.
All about the wings.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And we had such a good year last year. It was a really stressful year for us, obviously, coming back out of the pandemic and COVID kind of. So I'm really looking forward to kind of coming back and doing it properly and being able to enjoy the experience, you know, and I'm thrilled the bastards to come
And
back.
Danny and Clive are told who, aren't they? You must have such a laugh
We do.
backstage.
Danny and Clive are very mischievous, and literally Danny knows exactly how to wind me up on stage and knows that I'll go along with it. So it's a recipe for disaster in the best way possible.
Now, you've done panto for so many years. How wonderful is it now, finally? I know all the time I've known you, you wanted to be doing the North East. How great is it to be able to do it, to show here and spend Christmas at home?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a number of reasons why I've wanted to do it. Obviously, one being because I live 15 minutes from the venue, and so it'd be nice to be home for Christmas. But secondly, because it's actually one of the best productions in the country. Michael Harrison, the producer, literally spends so much time and effort on this show. It is always known. It's known all over the country as being one of the best.
But doesn't it go on, tickets go on sale something like, it's something like Boxing Day or so, or like a full year before.
Yeah.
And I've got friends who literally, the moment it's gone on, they're trying to get front row seats for Christmas Eve. Everyone gets mad
Yeah,
a year before.
and it's one of the longest. It's one of the
Yeah.
longest panto runs in the country, and that's testament to Michael's work. Like, he is a literal genius at putting on shows like that. So, yeah, it's well known in the industry of one of the shows that everybody wants to do. So I was thrilled when they asked us. I've always never mentioned it. I've always just kind of gone, oh, that would be nice. And then Michael called us just before the first lockdown. I'd worked on another show with him, and he said, listen, we'd love to, if you'd come back to the North East. And I was like, yes, finally.
And the one thing I always want to know, backstage, Theatre Royal, what's the dressing rooms like in that? I'm so nosy when I interview anyone about the backstage. Is it nice? Do you have a nice dressing room?
The dressing rooms are beautiful, and I'm very well looked after in Newcastle. at the theatre are. The staff are lovely, and I've even got a bed in my dressing room. I've got a bed in my dressing room, which is, it's very nice. When you fancy a little nap.
A little nap and out in
shows.
between shows.
Yeah.
Because it's a couple of shows a day, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, we do 12 shows a week.
Wow.
Full on schedule.
So I love the way you're going to go straight from George. You're going to be George Michael, then Fairy Godfather. What's next? Are you going to have a chill in the new year?
You know, there's lots of things bubbling at the minute. Few ideas being thrown around about certain projects and stuff. But I'm kind of just biding my time, seeing what's about, and I think I've had a wonderful year this year. Like coming out of the pandemic, it's been a really busy year. And I just kind of want to see what's about and make the right decision in terms of what the next project
Big
is.
question. Album, come on. Get one written.
Yeah,
What's going on?
I know. That's definitely...
New music, please.
That's first on the list.
Good, right. Well, then we're not going to fall out, so it's totally fine. But before then, I cannot wait to see you on Sunday. I'm literally going to lose my mind. I'm going with my other half's mum, Alison, who is a huge George Michael fan, as well as a huge fan of yours. So I think she's just going to scream
Are you
the whole
dressing
time.
up? That's the question. A lot of
Well,
people have been dressing up in the
might
Choose
be.
Life t-shirts and...
Well, if other people are doing it...
people have been doing it. People have been
Well-
coming in 80s-inspired outfits.
Oh, stop. I might have to
We've had
then.
the Choose Life t-shirt. Somebody came the other day down to Birmingham with a Geordie Michael t-shirt on, which I thought was very good.
That is amazing.
Play on words. Joe McElderry, Geordie Michael. I was like, I like your thinking.
Right, we're gonna
Why
put
did
out-
I not think of that for my merchandise?
I know, maybe next time. Right, well, so anyone, if you're listening right now and going to go along, if you dress up, I will. Let's make a party. Everyone say aye at the same time. Aye, right, we're dressing up. Sunday night, if I'm not the only person dressed up, Joe, I'm going to kill you.
No, I promise. I promise. The last three venues, they've all been dressed up.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I cannot wait. So it's Sunday at the City Hall, and then October the 28th in Stockton, isn't it?
Stockton Globe, yeah.
But I can't wait to see you with your little dangly earring in. Being George Michael, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Kelly.
Always a joy to catch up with him, and I caught up with him the other day, and I will admit now, my Choose Life t-shirt has arrived with me and Alison, who are going along on Sunday, will be dressed up. So feel free to dress up so we're not the only ones. But Joe did say everyone else is dressed up. So that is tomorrow at the City Hall. Hopefully we're going to see you there. We've got Calvin Harris on the way after this classic. Here's Nick Lowe and Cool to Be Kind. It's BBC Radio Newcastle, 8:45.